we talked about the Enlightenment or the Age of Reason. And we said that they started this age after the scientific revolution, after they achieved major success with the usage of the scientific revolution. As you know, the scientific revolution or the scientific way of thinking was simply depended on reason, the usage of reason in every aspects of their life, especially the scientific field. And after achieving huge achievements in this field, they thought, why not trying to apply the scientific way of thinking in every aspect of our life, especially the society we are living in. And they want to change the society. So, from your own opinion, if they want to make some enhancement to the society, from which place they should start? They should start with education, for example, or they should start with politics or with the economy. By the way, keep in your mind that, yes, sorry.
Sir, I have 2 points. First of all, like someone is waiting in the lobby. I'm sorry for disturbing, but
No
someone is in the
problem,
lobby.
let me check. But there is no one in the lobby here. What's his name? No, nothing is available here.
Abdurrahman Yasser.
Abdurrahman, yes, please ask him to leave the session and enter again because no one is waiting in the lobby here in front of me.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Like enhance it in which way, like
To make
enhance
it a
the
better place to live in.
um start with the
Keep it,
people themselves.
yes, keep in your mind, keep it in your mind that they used to gather themselves in places called salons, okay, over there in Paris, where they were invited to discuss their different views. Maybe in this salon, you're gonna find an artist, a musician, a philosopher, a thinker, a scientist. All of them will be gathered to discuss an issue. So everyone will simply say or express his point of view. Later on, they were free to publish anything they wrote. Even they printed pamphlets or small sheets of paper, and they started distributed to the people in the streets, so they can simply spread their knowledge among the commoners to enlighten the people with their new ideas. Now back to my question, okay, my friends. If you have the chance to change the society you are living in. Yes, here is Abdurrahman Yasser, I can see him. If you are in position that you can change the society, from which place you can start? Imagine the situation. You are in power. Sorry?
Sorry for joining late. I was in the wrong meeting.
No problem, my friend.
Show me the lobby and nothing happened.
It was a different date or a wrong session.
Maybe I.
You are Abdurrahman Ahmed Muhammad Hamdi?
No, I'm Abdurrahman Yasser.
Abdurrahman Yasser. So guys, there is no Abdurrahman Ahmed Muhammad Hamdi here in this class, right? You didn't notice this name.
No,
right?
not at all. Like,
Okay, maybe he's written in your assessment by mistake. Okay, no problem. So back to my question. From which place you gonna start? You are in position now to change the society. You wanna change how it looks like. Okay? From which place you gonna start? Take a wild guess. I'm not looking for correct and wrong answers. I'm just telling you how to think about this issue.
like culture, academically.
Yes. Imagine that you are the president of a nation. Okay? You are the strongest man in this nation. And here I'm not talking about physical strength. Here, guys, I'm talking about you are willing to change and you have the authority to change the society you are living in. Okay? I think, I think, my friends, you should start with
من الناحية العلمية يا أستاذ.
from the
Academic
scientific field, the academics,
Yes.
or
so
culture.
you will enhance the educational system. This is your point of view, right?
Yes.
Mr. Heads
Sorry, sorry,
hospital enhance hospitals والحاجات زي دي.
enhance hospitals. Okay, but let me tell you something. If you want to have a complete change with the society, you should start with the top of the pyramid, the government. The government, my friends. How the government looks like. In some places in the world, there is monarchy. In other places, we have federal governments. In different countries, we have democratic governments. So, if you want to change the shape of any society, you should start with the top. You should start with the government. How the government looks like. Okay, over there, over there, during the 1700s in Europe, people used to think before the scientific way of thinking. People used two sources of knowledge. Can you remind me what are these two sources of knowledge?
Books.
Books from Amazon or books uh, from where they can access the books. They can buy them online. Sleepy, sleepy, you are still in the third session. Guys, please. Why are you so distracted today? Is something wrong with the exam? You are disappointed, for example?
No.
So please do not let me talk to myself a lot. Believe me. This way, by the end of the year,
Um.
guys,
I
guys,
said books. Like they probably get their
okay,
information from books
okay,
that other
no
people
problem,
wrote.
no problem. Yes, thank you very much for telling me that, Muhammad Ahmed. Books, okay. My question, from where they can access the books?
Ancient books from
Thank,
their history.
thank you very much. This is what I'm looking for. Books from ancient philosophers or ancient scholars' writings, okay, or the church. So these are the two sources of knowledge, the church teachings or the ancient scholars' writings. So, according to the traditional way of thinking, the government over there is shaped at the top of the government, there is a king, because monarchs were every place over there in Europe. And they used to think, according to the traditional way of thinking, that kings were chosen by God. So kings have the divine right to rule over people. This is according to the traditional way of thinking. So no one dares to challenge the king or to change any one of his decisions or disobey him. Of course, because they have the divine right to rule, to govern. Okay? But of course, after using the scientific way of thinking, they noticed no, kings were not chosen by God. Kings were chosen because they are descendant of the royal families, because they simply passed the power or the authority from one generation to another, and so on. Okay? So they wanna use reason. They wanna use reason to solve all the human problems. Any human problem in the world, they wanna solve it, and they will start from the beginning. Like achievements they reached over there in the scientific revolution, in the scientific field. So after this success, why not? Why not trying to use reason to solve any human problems we have? And of course, they looked at the top of the pyramid and they started with governments. The first one, the first one to publish his views. And remember, keep in your mind that the Enlightenment from its name, there was no restrictions on publishing their writings. Not like the scientific age, not like the scientific revolution. Anyone during the scientific revolution dares to publish or to write a book and announce it to the people, of course he would be either jailed or killed. But during the Enlightenment age, there was no problem in printing. Publish your views. Okay, there was some kind of liberty or freedom. So Thomas Hobbes, he was an English thinker. His view regarding governments, his view was simply that all the societies all over the world, all the societies all over the world should give up some of their freedom to a strong leader. As living in the society, you should willingly give up some of your freedom to a strong leader. Okay? In return, you will get from the strong leader, you will get peace, safety, and order in the society. Okay? So here's the equation. You will simply give up some of your freedom, and in return, you will get three benefits. You will get peace, safety, and order. And his favorite type of government was absolute monarchy, like absolute kings or queens. And he called this way of government the social contract. Okay? So the social contract, people living in the society are simply willingly giving their freedom, will give up some of their freedom to a strong leader. What do I mean by giving up some of my freedom? Who can help me here, my friends? What do I mean by giving up some of my freedom?
Sort of expressing your opinion.
Expressing your opinion, so you will not express your opinions.
Like living under strict laws and like rules you should make.
Yes, yes, in fact, yes, to follow and to obey the rules. Even though you do not like these rules, it's not up to you. Nobody asked you about your opinion about these rules. Simply obey them. That's it. Like, for example, uh, as a teenager, teenagers, of course, after getting your driving license, of course, your goal and your aim is simply to run as fast as you can with the car. Okay, you want to test your car, you want to test your vehicle, you are happy, you're for whatever reason, you want to run as fast as you can. Okay, this is your goal. Of course, you can't because simply you will be fined. The police officer simply see you, you will be fined or even jailed if you will if you will have some kind of an accident or a hazard or for the safety or other for whatever reason, you can be jailed. Okay, so this is gonna mean the society is against your will or your desire to imagine yourself to be a bull walker, for example, and you want to have some kind of racing between or a race between fast cars within the street among the crowd. This is your freedom. You want to do this issue. But of course, the society will try to stop you by enforcing the law. Okay? So this is going to mean, even though I want to make this action, but the society will stop me. So I will give up some of my freedom. to the society as a whole, for the safety of the society, for the order of the society. Got this issue, or it's not clear? Please,
Understood.
if it, okay. So Amro Ahmad Mansour, Amro Ahmad,
Mr.
how are you, Amro?
Fine, Mr.
Please, can you tell me what do I mean by giving up some of your freedom to the society?
تاني يا أستاذ معلش.
What do I mean by giving up some of my freedom to the society? This issue. How do you think people can give up some of their freedom to the society? And I have just said that, I think, 1 minute ago. It was here in the session, right?
By obeying strict rules.
Thank you very much. By following the rules. That's it. Okay? Even though the rules will be, maybe, sorry, can be against your will. So you will give up some of your freedom to the society in order to get peace, safety, and order. Okay? And he called Thomas Hobbes, thank you. And Thomas Hobbes, guys, called his point of view, this way of thinking regarding the government, he called it the social contract. Okay? He published his point of view in a book named Leviathan. And Leviathan, by the way, guys, is a freaky sea monster. Okay? So from his point of view, the leader, the strong leader, the monarch, will be something like the monster, that you must be afraid of him. Before thinking to disobey one of his rules or one of his laws, you must be afraid. Okay? So our first thinker, our first philosopher, Thomas Hobbes, his point of view or his theory was the social contract. What's the social contract, my friend? People should give up some of their freedom to a strong leader. In return, they will get peace, safety, and order in the society. And this theory called the social contract. And he published this social contract in the book named Leviathan. Okay? Any questions for Thomas Hobbes? I think not.
No.
John Locke, the second philosopher we will talk about, from his name, what do you think his nationality can be? From his name, guys. John Locke.
British.
You think so?
Greece.
American.
France.
American. He was French philosopher. Okay? So guys, he said, his point of view, that all the governments all over the world should supply the people with 3 basic human rights. What are the 3 basic human rights from his point of view? Life, liberty, and property. Okay? What do I mean by the human right of life? Does this make any sense? Life as a human right? What does it mean? What do you think? Try to figure out the meaning.
You basically means that you do have rights that you should acquire from someone else.
You have the right to live. Nobody is allowed to take your life out. Nobody's allowed to take your life. by killing or by enslaving or so on. To, to feel safe in the society. Okay? Nobody is allowed to take your life without a proper cause or without a reason. For committing a crime, for example, you will be executed and so on. For liberty, what's the human right of liberty?
Basically, do whatever you want, right?
Liberty, in fact, is the opposite, my friends, of enslavement. You are not a property. Okay? So liberty is the opposite of enslavement. And keep in your mind that liberty will not come to only physical liberty or physical enslavement. Will come to with the freedom of expressing your thoughts without being punished. This is an important issue, right? So
Mr.
this is
Liberty, freedom of speech and belief.
liberty, yes, freedom of speech. Even though you are against the opinions or the decisions of the government, okay? But you are free to express your thoughts without any kind of punishment or even the threat of usage of violence. Property, you are free to buy or to sell anything in the society. Life, liberty, and property. Three basic human rights. That he thought that these three basic human rights are essentials for all the people in the society. If the government failed to achieve these three basic human rights, people have the right to overthrow them. People have the right to change the government. And keep in your mind that these views inspired a lot of generations after the death of these philosophers. They inspired them to revolt, to re-establish their societies according to their desires. Got it? So these guys are responsible for too many revolutions over there in Europe. Jean-Jacques Rousseau, okay? Our friend here, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, he said, the social contract is wrong. He didn't like the view of Thomas Hobbes. And he said, it's better that the people give up their freedom to the society, not to the leader. Okay? He said, instead of giving up our freedom and put it in the hands of a strong leader, no, we can willingly give up some of our freedom and deliver it to the society as a whole, not to the leader. In return, the society must work for the common good, not to the wealthy few. What do I mean by the common good? Common good, guys.
For the society, not for himself.
Yes, for the society as a whole. Okay, until now, my friends, do you have any questions? It's your time. Questions. We should go on. Go on. Wait. Ask. Okay. Remember that I can simply ask you later about any item here in these views. In this lesson, like the scientific revolution, we will discuss too many philosophers. Baron de Montesquieu. Okay. Baron de Oh my God. I think, my friends, that our lesson will come to an end after 1 minute. So there's no problem. We can continue our discussion, guys, tomorrow, inshallah. Until we meet again, have a nice time and study